What's up guys, welcome to Blake's Garage. So today we're going to be changing out the brake rings on the BMW M4. Now, we're doing that with the gyro discs right here. So I actually have new gyro disc front rings right here. They're pretty heavy, I'm not going to lie. But we got basically half of a season out of the front rotors of the car, so quite a few track days, and we are running G-Lock brakes again this season. So huge thank you to Danny at G-Lock Brakes for the sponsorship with this stuff. But I absolutely love these brake pads. So I ran R18 compound brake pads all season. I think there was one track day that I did last year, I want to say, that I ran R16s and an R8 in the rear, where currently I run an R18 and an R10 in the rear, and that bias works out absolutely amazing for me. I love it. The initial torque, the overall braking, heat dissipation, I never get brake fade or anything like that, and literally I can go hard for a 20-minute session if I want. I don't really do that much anymore, but I used to, and yes, it did put quite a bit of heat into the brakes. You would literally turn the calipers from blue to black with the stock rotors. Now with the gyro disc two-piece, legit two-piece, way better cooling, and they have way better, well, heat dissipation, right? So they're actually a floating two-piece rotor, whereas the M Motorsports ones are kind of a fake, if you will. They got little ding-dongs. I think I have some over here. If you look at these rotors right here, these are the stock ones that are old, and they are not actually a two-piece floating rotor. Whereas with the gyro disc right here, you can see you have the hat and you have the outer ring. I am running 18s on this car. And I mean, honestly, yes, I could get more life out of these rotors. I probably have at least another track day in them, but they're starting to get some larger cracks and whatnot. And you know, the new season's coming up. Also the pads, these are the R18 pads. You know, they probably got another track day in them, but I don't want to risk it. I want to go with fresh stuff for the year. We're going to Button Willow for a time attack. Hoping to get into the lower 150s. So I want to break 155. My current PB is a 155, like 0.16, so almost a 154. And I've only ever been on you know, scrubs basically by the time I got there. I've never been on fresh sticker tires, so I think I can get down into 52s, 53s with some fresh boys. Definitely if I add the front aero, because the rear aero imbalance on the car is I have this thing completely zeroed out, and so it makes less downforce, but it definitely does change the handling characteristics of the car. As far as the rotors and rings go, so they have a whole thing here. You can read all of that. It comes with new hardware, which is an absolute must, so we'll get all that on there, torque it all down to spec and do all that stuff. And yes, it's gonna take a while. One nice thing is, it's very important, they show the left and the right hand side. I've been very happy with the gyro disc setup. The heat dissipation, like I said, so much better than the stock F80 stuff or F8x. Also, one thing that you notice big time is the noise. So if I'm running race compound pads with the stock rotors, extremely loud. As soon as I switched over to two-piece rotors, because it allows a little bit of movement, you know, because of these little spring nuts. I think they're called spring nuts, but because of the, yeah, I mean, you know, it's got that little bit of play that can move in the actual rotor itself, so you can get a little bit of that vibration out. It changed the harmonics to where, yes, they are noisy at times, but nowhere near what they used to be. I mean, you just is coming up to a stop like real bad, and now it's like pretty smooth, and then maybe one little which honestly isn't bad. And I rocked these this setup the whole year last year. I actually didn't switch out pads. I just ran R18, R10s on the street. Yeah, you know, it does take a little bit of heat to get them to where they should really bite, but I will say, just like cold, the car never had an issue stopping. Like, it stopped on a dime, even cold. So I really like the compound. It worked out great. Got to figure out what tires I want to run this year. Drop down in the comments below what tires you think I should run. I'm thinking about bumping up to race class because they changed the tire selection on the Time Attack to where you can run a max of 305s in the rear. 305s, they're all right, but the problem is finding a tire in 305. Most companies are really skipping that. They're going from like 285, maybe 295s, which is good. That's what I run on the front. And then they'll skip 305 and go straight to 315s. Well, if I go 315s, then I'm in a race class. So these are 315s in the rear. It's what I ran all last year. I know they want to get race class more competitive, which is cool. That's totally fine. So I might end up doing that, and we may end up switching wheels depending on how that goes. So if I was in race class though, what would be cool is I can run any tire that I want. So if I want to run slicks or something like that, I totally can. And I actually have a hookup on some scrubs right now, so maybe I'll just end up doing that because I'll save money there, and then I could afford maybe to get some different wheels and then keep these wheels as like a daily set with, you know, just rocking AR1s, some scrubbed in AR1s. That's a daily set of tires. Okay, let's get down to the brakes. I just kind of wanted to explain to you guys what is going on this track season because it's happening. So I'll stop rambling, we'll make it happen. Oh guys, I picked up this mat not too long ago from Race Ramps. Legit. Super comfy, folds up. It's got a nice clean side, which is cool, so you can remember what side to put down on the ground. And then when you're working, oh yeah, it's nice and comfy and you're not really on the ground. So I love that. I've heard people say that they can't break loose lug nuts with the M12 half-inch stubby. Never had an issue here. These are torqued to 90 foot-pounds also. Yes, I have a 4 amp battery, but this will do it with a smaller battery too. Just to show you guys, fully charged CP 2.0, no problem. Takes a little longer. The reason I like to rock the 4.0, just so you guys are aware, stands up. Pretty much the only reason. Yes, it has a little more amperage too, so that's always good. But yeah, 2 track days, Nanking AR1s. That's pretty much what I've averaged all year. One I got about 1.5, and I completely corded them. Running a bit too much camber. Right now, camber is pretty much perfectly dialed as far as the little arrow goes here, so that's good. I think I'm at -3. I was at like 3.9 or something crazy. I think I'm at -3 right now, and that actually was quite a bit better for tire wear. So that's been good. I am running a 15mm spacer on the front of the car, and we're running those fancy MCS 2-way coilovers. So yeah, those things have done great all season. I do really like them. We got the SPL sway bar in links and all that. Running the Hyperco little helper. Running a 6-inch 2.25-inch spring at 800 inch-pounds in the front. So that's what I've been chilling with this year. So yeah, we'll go ahead and pop this off. I didn't pick up new screws. We don't have those. That's how the brake pad life, yeah, it was getting there. So we'll go ahead, and I actually want to just, I think right now I'll just go ahead and pop out brake pads and all that stuff. Yep, still got some life in them, so it's good. Didn't really glaze them over at all either, so that's nice. A little bit of inconsistent wear on the, looks like that was on the front side. So it wore the back before the front, but that's totally fine. That actually makes sense. The back pad actually has quite a bit of pad material left. For the front, it's getting there. Probably had like 1 more track day left on these, so I usually just keep the old ones as spares since they're like $400 brake pads. Now that I have the wheel off, the rotors aren't even that bad. There's not even like really a lip there. There is a bit of a lip here at the bottom, but that was honestly just for how the pads wore. Yeah, the rotors feel pretty dang good. Now I was noticing a bit of vibrations from last time. That could even just be the pads, but yeah, I don't know. You know, new season, we'll swap them out, get ready to go. 18 mils on the back side here. Rotor off. Keep the inside here. Always have a little bit of rubber and whatnot in there, so cool. Let's check out the inside of the rotor ring. So you can see we have like a spring nut, and it does, and then the washer and the bolt, and then we have the bolt and washer. So it goes every other one. And you can see I got a little bit of chunks of rubber, which you should have. If you're on the racetrack, which you have these rotors, you should be running them. So maybe something in the future I need to do too with some brake ducting, like some cooling. That would actually be cool. Change out the heat shields in the back. Maybe run something like from these little spots right here and plumb something, I don't know. Go ahead and remove all of the Allen head bolts from the rotor ring here. Get those all off, and then I can put on the new rotor ring, and then we'll Loctite everything down, get everything torqued to the proper Newton meters. The Allen head, which is a, what is that, 4mm? The 4mm Allen head. We have the washer, then we have like the little spring nut, then we actually have like the little spring nut washer piece right there, and then the below that is the nut itself. So we'll pull all these off. Oh, there's the old rotor ring. Looks good. This is literally how you're saving money right here. So you save, the rings are 800 from girodisc. The front rotors I think are 1200 from Keys Motorsports. I'll leave links to all this stuff down below. They are affiliate links, so if you buy through that, helps out the channel tremendously, and it also helps out Brian over at Keys Motorsports. Cool guy. So win-win scenario in the BMW gang. Okay. So there we have the actual hat itself, real lightweight and everything. So I'm just gonna clean that up. We'll hit this with a bit of brake clean just to get these surfaces all cleaned up. Also, if you guys are wondering why the rotor hats like aren't blue or kind of that black look anymore, well, if you have to ask that, you really don't deserve these rotors. No, I'm just kidding. Well, I am and I'm not. If yours haven't changed, you're not driving fast enough, basically. That's from heat. So heat changes that. And also, if you guys check out the calipers themselves over here, these weren't painted this color. That's literally turned that from braking hard. So basically, I know if I see your F80 and you drive fast, your calipers have turned from, well, that nice blue color to maybe like a purple, to a green, to a black. So if you guys are running black rotors naturally from the track, I know you're driving quickly. So that's cool. Go ahead and place this on the hat. But you can see the grooves, right? The slots. Now look at the slots on the old one. You can see the slots are kind of missing, right? So they've definitely been worn down more towards the bottom. So that's another way you can tell how much of your rotor has kind of disappeared, I guess. So we have the little flat part on the nut right here. So that kind of goes towards the hat. And then we're gonna go ahead and put some blue thread locker on there as well when we go ahead and install these. All right, then I'm moving on to these ones right here. So I have the dive bushing right here, and then the flat part has a bushing that rests on the hat, basically right there, that little flat spot. And then we have the actual 25mm M5 screw cap, a flat washer, which is on the top right there. Then we have the spring clip, and we have the square washer. So those all get smashed on there. It alternates every other. When you put those on, gonna go ahead and put a little bit of Loctite on there. Oh, so these things don't come out. Very important. Do not want that. And then once we've done that to all of them, I'm gonna get them all assembled. You screw these things down to 60 inch-pounds or 7 Newton meters. You want to make sure to not over tighten. So I'll get my torque wrench out here and tighten them to 7 Newton meters. But for right now, I'm just doing them all hand tight. All right, now torque sequence. It is 7 Newton meters, which literally my torque wrench only goes down to 6.8 is the lowest. So 7 Newton meters is right there. And we're just gonna alternate. Right there, super light torque. Got the rear rotor on, and just go ahead and throw the pads back on. Got these fresh G-Lock R18s. Now, if you're unaware, quite a bit of that pad material on race pads, and you can order them pre-bedded. You can actually get them made to any size you would like. So if you actually want more pad material, less pad material, you can request that. You can see these are about halfway down on pad thickness. So, you know, they've seen some use. You can actually flip pads if you want, inside and outside. It's actually not a bad idea between track days to get more life out of them. I know people that do that, and it's kind of a cool idea. If you guys are like bleeding your system or, you know, already down here, it's an idea that you can do. So, something big to notice on your rotors, make sure your pads clear the top pad, right? It's a big deal right there. Should be clearing the top pad, no problem. If you run into issues, you can have big problems. So now I can pretty much just slap the wheel back on, and we'll be good to go. Do it on the other side. Pretty straightforward. I clean off a little bit of this. Got a little bit of grime there. But yeah, just do a quick spin, make sure nothing is obtruding anything. Check your pads, you know, where they're meeting on the rotor surface and all that, and should be good to go. Then we'll be able to go bed in the new brakes, new rotors. Hell yeah, I'm really excited to get the car on track again. Buttonwillow, like I said, is going to be the first day or the first track day of the year for Time Attack with Turn 8. So yeah, looking forward to doing that. Got to get new tires though, man. Got to get some new rubber, and it's not cheap. It's not cheap. So we'll see how it goes. Later, guys, and wrench on.